G'day and welcome back to another video. For today I did have a video planned, but I came out yesterday, I was doing some work in the yard and came across an issue. Now thankfully I've gotten onto it quickly and it's not a huge issue because I have gotten onto it so soon, but let's take a look at what it is. So the lawn as a whole is looking pretty fantastic at the moment, but something I noticed was some of these little tinges of yellow. So we get down nice and close here and you can see these little bits that are just dying off. You can't really tell from looking up at this angle, but I was just sort of seeing a few troubling little bits here in the lawn. So you can see sort of on that grass blade there, the little spots on it. Here you can sort of see hopefully the spots on a mostly dead grass blade as well. So this is a fungal disease called grey leaf spot. Now there's lots of different variations of fungal diseases. Some of them are easier to spot than others. My lawn got absolutely decimated at my old house before I really knew what I was looking for. Thankfully now I'm a lot more lawn obsessed, and so these are the sorts of things that when I'm just walking across the yard, when I'm out playing with kids or whatever, I'm just sort of having a look around, looking at little bits and pieces, looking at struggling areas and seeing how they're going, just because I enjoy it and that's what I'm looking for. And you know, when I'm just wandering around the yard, these are the things I see. Now in terms of the cause, lawns don't tend to like changes in weather and seasons and things like that. So here at the moment, it's February in Victoria, Australia. It's meant to be summer, but over the last week, we've had a massive burst of rain after having not much rain for probably a good 6 weeks. So this lawn is at 4 weeks post renovation today. In the week to 10 days after renovation, the weather was high 20s, early to mid, even high 30s. So it was very, very hot. Then we had some pretty stable weather, some pretty nice weather around that 30-degree mark. Then we had some pretty stable, some pretty nice weather around that 30-degree mark. So that was great. That's perfect summer weather. Nice heat for the lawn to grow without being scorching hot. And then over the last week, we had a day last Friday when it was 16 degrees for a top, which is normally a little colder than our low temperatures in summer. So that was our top for the day. So naturally that's affected soil temperatures, that's thrown things around a bit. So especially because it's coming back from a very big renovation, it's not a big surprise that the lawn has been under a bit more stress. It's reacted to the changes in season, and I've got this fungal disease now. So thankfully, from having that fungal disease last year, I had this in the shed ready to go. So this product, Clawton 720, is a fungicide, which is going to help me treat what's happening in the lawn. Now I did lose the booklet that came with it in moving house, but thankfully you can find all these things online. Pretty much any product, fertilizers, herbicides, generally, you're going to be able to find the label, the booklet, the instructions, whatever it is, online somewhere. This product is used to treat vegetables, fruits. It's got all different rates for all these things, but I go down here to turf and lawns, and it's got different diseases, different mixing rates, and what to do. In severe conditions or when it's established, this product is to be used every 7 to 14 days for ongoing treatment. It says, do not mow a treated area until the turf or lawn is thoroughly dry. I'm gonna mow in a couple of hours, so that works out well for me. It's been just about 24 hours. It also does say for part of this too is do not irrigate for 24 hours after the application. So I was planning to put some products out yesterday or today where I needed to water them in, so that's gonna have to wait. Now it also does say here, do not irrigate for 24 hours after the application. Made sure there was obviously not gonna be any rain and I wasn't gonna be watering the lawn or watering in, applying any products that I needed to water in. Now the mixing rates on here. 130 to 200 milliliters per 100 meters squared in 20 to 60 liters of water. Now, if there's anything that I've learned the hard way, is that when a product gives you mixing rates, you need to follow those mixing rates. These things are tested by, I don't know, I assume scientists and people smarter than me, smarter than you, and they give us these rates so that we can get the most out of the product. The 20 to 60 litres is a lot of water for only 100 metres squared. A lot of backpack sprayers are 12 or 15 litres. So, you know, if you have got a bit of a bigger lawn, 200, 300, 400, you obviously want to treat this disease, but it's going to be a lot of going back and forth to treat the lawn. So this yard here is obviously a pretty decent size. I've measured it out to be about 489 meters squared to be exact, which I just round up to 500 because it's an easier number to work with when I'm calculating how much I need of different products. Initially though, when we first bought the property, it was looking to be a lot bigger of a space. So this area here, which I'm killing off and I'm slowly going to turn into a kids playground area. I've planted some fruit trees, a couple of apple trees, nectarine tree, those kinds of things. Getting rid of that space, as well as my project area down there, which is going to be fire pit and whatnot, was looking like this lawn, well it was initially closer to 750, 800 square meters, so huge. So I've shrunk it down, which I'm really happy about. But in any case, back then when we first bought the house, when our offer was accepted, I knew that this was going to be a lot of work looking after this lawn. And so I needed a solution when it came to especially spraying things like this fungicide, to be able to spray it in a time effective manner. So let's have a look at what I've done. So this here is my 100 litre walk behind sprayer. So as you can see there, it's got a swiveling wheel, which makes it really easy to maneuver. I actually bought the tank and the base here from a guy who was planning to finish off this project himself, but he ended up doing something else with all of that. So yeah, this 100 litre tank, which is designed initially to tow behind a four-wheeler or a ride-on mower or something like that. I didn't want to use it for that purpose though. I looked at walk behind sprayers that you can buy. They're around, you know, those sort of bowling green mowers, around sort of $4 or so. In the end, I bought the main part of this for about $450, which was a good pickup. And then the rest of the stuff, I think cost me $100 or so, $150 maybe. Now this handle here is definitely not the most stable and sturdy thing in the world. I contacted a steel fabricator when I was doing this project and basically just got a bloke who was pretty rude, didn't seem interested at all. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna stick to what I know. I'm gonna make it out of timber. So yeah, jimmied this up here. Nice support piece up to here on a good angle. Really happy with the height of the handlebars here. That's just a bolt's gone through there for this little piece of tube. I'd like to get some, you know, spongier kind of handle on it to make it a bit more ergonomic, I guess, better to use. Yesterday, I've only been filling this up to about 30 litres really so far. When I've applied some soil wetters and fertilizers out here. So yesterday was a real test with 100 litres in it, being obviously a lot heavier, and it was fine to use. Apart from being heavy and a physical effort to push around 100 litres, especially because this lawn sort of falls away that way. Over there, some of the levels are a bit out as it falls away to the veggie garden and that kind of thing. So there was parts where it was a lot more effort to push. End of the day, I'm really happy with how sturdy this is. If this ever falls apart, this handle, no problems. Since I put up about this sprayer, I've had a few people contact me, a few friends and stuff who I didn't realise would be able to knock something up with this handle pretty quick for me. But either way, stuck to what I knew with this, and so far it's working fine. So it has got a boomless spray nozzle on it, and this sprays out approximately 2 meters. When I'm spraying, it covers about 4 stripes. So I've got doubles on here at the moment, so I could walk straight down the middle of this line and it will cover both lines. One of my best mates is a Sparky, which was really helpful. So he wired this up for me. So there's a pump down there which sucks the water through to the spray nozzle, and then I've just got these cables that I need to hook onto here. So slide that on. Just taking this off charge because I used it yesterday. So I just need to slide those on. Put some water in there. Now I've just got this little button here, and would you look at that? So that's coming out to about here and about here. Yesterday, it did take me a bit over an hour to put out 100 litres in this, which I was pretty surprised at. I think it had something to do with the fact that the fungicide is quite I guess the best way to describe it is like a creamy kind of substance, kind of thick. So as much as it was diluted 1 litre into basically 99 litres, yeah, it was definitely maybe taking a bit longer to put out, but either way, good to get it out on the lawns. So as I mentioned, I did spray this product yesterday. Recorded a little bit of content about it, but yeah, I sort of wasn't planning on recording yesterday, and in the end, the way things worked out, I just got it done. But anyway, you can see how maneuverable this is. Really good, really easy to use. Here it is in action yesterday. When it comes to a fungal disease, some other things that you can do aside from treating with your fungicides and reapplying if you're not seeing improvement and that sort of thing, which I will do if I don't see an improvement in some of those spots on the leaf and whatnot. Apart from that, you just want to follow good general practices. So if you've got spots that have died off a lot because you haven't gotten onto the fungal disease soon, then you're probably going to need to up your water just slightly. If you've got big dead spots because you haven't gotten onto the fungal disease soon enough, then you might want to up your water output onto some of those areas or onto your entire lawn. Once again, making sure you do that in the morning, not later at night, because watering at night as a whole promotes fungal disease as it is. And that might have been a cause potentially for your issue. If you haven't fertilized recently, then get some fertilizer onto your lawn to boost the general health of it. For me, that's not a problem. I'm not due for fertilizer. I am due for soil wetter, but not due for any fertilizers. So for me, that's not a concern. And you just want to be mowing regularly, following those good practices that you would use to have a nice lawn anyway. So under stress, don't be applying herbicides, don't be applying things like plant growth regulator. Just like I said, follow those good practices of watering, mowing, fertilizer. Don't stress too much, don't over fertilize. Don't do too much of some of these things because that can have its own negatives itself. Just follow those good practices. So in getting this lawn mowed, I am going to be trying to turn this pattern I've got going, which you can't see at the moment, into some double checkers, which is going to look pretty sweet. But so that it looks its best, I need the sun to, instead of being there, I want it over there, behind where I am. A little bonus part to the video, I guess, stripes. When you have the sun at your back, you can see the stripes, and when you are facing the sun, look at that, stripes are gone. Anyway, something I've been looking forward to doing for a while is planting out this garden bed. I've had some issues with it, some drainage issues. It's too far away to connect any drainage into it unless I make friends with the neighbour and get into his downpipe. But anyway, so I'm going to knock out some work in this garden bed for a little bit. I'm going to wait for that sun to swing around and get a mow done a little bit later in the day. All right, it's a few hours later, so I've raked up all the mulch out of here. I've dug the top nice layer of soil out of there, and then I've dug some larger holes with which I'm going to dig it up with a pitchfork and then mix in some gypsum and then add in some nice quality composted soil. So hopefully that's going to help me out with this garden bed and it won't flood so much in the future and I'll be able to improve the soil. But in any case, the sun has swung around, but now it's super gloomy. So that's annoying. But anyway, let's tidy up the edges, get a mow done.